I'm Megan Skidmore, and welcome to the Beyond the Shadow of Doubt. I'm a woman, daughter, sister, spouse, mother, life coach, and person of faith on a mission to normalize asking questions and allowing doubts on a faith journey and all aspects of life. Join me as I bring this traditionally taboo topic out of the shadows of shame and into the light. I firmly believe we normalize through more talking and engaging in discussion. More talking peels back, exposes, and erases the layers of shame associated with asking questions and allowing doubts. When we are more authentic about our journey, we are more powerful because shame has no power in the face of authenticity. Do you know what your core values are? If you come from a high demand background, it's possible you haven't taken the opportunity to thoughtfully consider your core values. Brené Brown said, living into our values means that we do more than profess our values. We practice them. We walk our talk. We are clear about what we believe and hold important, and we take care that our intentions, words, thoughts, and behaviors align with those beliefs, end quote. But before you can walk your talk, you must identify what your core values are. Research has shown that it is traumatizing when a therapist or mental health support person tries to impose their values upon their client. As a life transitions coach, I do not tell my clients what their values are or what they should be. Identifying your core values is like thinking ahead of time. It reduces decision fatigue. It becomes your North Star, guiding you as you navigate new decisions or decisions you've come to realize that perhaps you didn't get to choose in the first place. Click the link in the show notes for my Determine Your Values free guide. It will help you take the first steps to living a values-driven and aligned life by helping you identify what matters most to you. First Friday's free coaching, a confidential group to bring all the questions, vent frustrations, share fears, express doubts. Navigating a new and uncertain reality is hard enough. Let's remove the worry of judgment from others. In this group, I will help you help yourself so that you can be there for your child, family, loved ones, and for you too. Click the link in the show notes to sign up. You must complete the agreement. Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Shadow of Doubt. Today I'm going to focus on stage 2 faith or complexity. This is the second stage of 4, according to Brian McLaren, who is the author of Faith After Doubt. His philosophy really resonated with me. In episode number 124, I discussed the first stage of faith, which is simplicity. This is the stage that we're born into, where we are taught by authority figures what is right from wrong or good from bad, the people to associate with and those who we stay away from, and etc. This is such a formative stage, a believing, trusting stage of faith that most do not question what is told them during this stage of faith, and even in some cases may see it as absolute until something happens in life that kicks them out of this comfortable stage of duality, we could say. On page 47 in Faith After Doubt, as Brian says, from the age of 2 to 12 or so, stage 1 faith works pretty well for most of us. Up until this point, stage 1 may have felt like a school to help us learn the basic morals necessary of independence. But now it starts to feel like detention, a cage, even prison. And the only way out is doubt, end quote. So here enters stage 2, or complexity. I've given this a lot of thought, and I've come up with some scenarios of things that actually happened to people in my life in earlier years that could be examples of something that would push someone from simplicity to complexity in their stage of faith. I have sterilized information to protect identities. So I'm speaking in generalities, but it did happen. Some examples I came up with are the divorce of close family members, maybe an aunt or an uncle or a cousin, or a loved one marries an individual who is not a member of your faith of origin, drug and or alcohol use of fellow community members, family members, so on. Learning that a family member identifies as gay or, lesbian, bisexual, transgender. I had an ecclesiastical leader who was unfaithful to their spouse and left them. And this was a leader of my youth, my teenage years, and that affected me greatly. Yeah, that I pondered on that a lot. Roommate who got pregnant out of wedlock, and just things like the realization that just because you check the boxes of what you were taught you should do, turns out life isn't easier, nor is everything going to happen to you that maybe you thought would because you were told it would, such as blessings, when it comes to your life path, your life journey, like marriage, having kids, or, blessings of a career or finances or your spiritual/religious journey. In these scenarios I've mentioned, you're made to grapple with this reality where either yourself or someone that you care about deeply is in the middle of a situation that just doesn't align with what you were taught by those authority figures in stage 1. And remember, authority figures aren't just teachers, pastors, ecclesiastical leaders. They can be your parents, your extended family members, even grandparents, aunts, uncles, can be neighbors who maybe had a significant role in your growing up years. So these situations that just don't seem to align with what you were taught, and you're just not quite sure what to do with it. You're forced to confront these contradictions. Now, going back to what Brian is saying from Faith After Doubt, this is on page 47, by the way, for those of you who have the book. He says, the only way out is doubt. We may doubt that the authorities are always right. We may doubt that all the rules are always absolute and appropriate. We may doubt that they are as bad or dangerous as our authority figures warned us, or that we are as good and as exceptional as we were told. He continues, add in hormones, puberty, sexual curiosity, changing bodies and brains to the mix, and simplicity stops feeling so simple anymore, end quote. And so in summary, to what he shares, basically, we want to trade in that dualism of stage 1 for pragmatism and dependence for independence. We're no longer children. We want to self-differentiate. The authority figures we had in stage 1 are replaced with mentors, coaches, guides, and so on, who teach us how to think for ourselves, develop our own goals, and the skills to reach these goals. That's on page 48. In 2023, Brian spoke at the Restore conference that is put on by the Faith Matters organization. And this conference was in Salt Lake City. And he shared this about his experience in stage 2. He said, I gave myself permission behind my smiling face to have some of my own thoughts. There's an independence that develops. I stopped looking for authority figures to give me easy answers and started looking for mentors and coaches who would tell me how to succeed, who would give me ideas and how to learn and think for myself. I looked for conferences and retreats and other kinds of places where I could meet people who would teach me in a different way and weren't going to threaten me if I didn't agree with them. I was really looking for people who I could ask questions of and maybe even challenge because I needed to learn to think for myself. I was looking for simple steps and techniques, and I still cherish this thought, not that all is known or knowable, but anything can be fixed and any problem can be solved, and life is a set of winnable games. And now I'm looking for meaning in individual and in group achievement and in being independent. And he continued, a lot of people stay in stage 2 or complexity their whole lives. So that's kind of some insight that he gave into what he was experiencing in this stage 2 level of faith, kind of that mind frame. So with this kind of foundation left or laid for you, I invite you to reflect on situations of contradictions that maybe you have experienced in your life that perhaps represent movement for you from stage 1 to stage 2 faith. I would love to know your thoughts on this and what has come up for you as you've been listening to today's episode. So make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and be notified for when future episodes publish. I will be publishing the following 2 stages of faith, perplexity and harmony. While you're at it, I would love so very much if you would take a moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time. Story mapping is a key component of my signature program, Life Outside the Binary. When you experience an awakening and see for yourself that the world is not all black and white, you get to choose which of your long-held stories align and live outside the ones that don't. Have you hit a wall and simply cannot figure out what to do to move past, or feel stuck and unsure of what your next move is or how to find it? Did you know the real challenge isn't the wall or the feeling stuck, but rather the story you have written and are living in about yourself and about the wall and about the feeling of stuckness? What you tell yourself about your value, character, abilities, and power to work through and move past problems, concerns, walls, or feeling stuck could be what is really in the way. The thing is, most of us can't see these stories for ourselves. That's where I come in. I invite you to join me for a story mapping session. You will gain more than insight, clarity, and at least one tool you can start using today. You'll remember or learn for the first time how to breathe again. You will start to feel a glimmer of hope and sense possibilities. You'll start to see where your stories end and you begin. Nothing is off limits in our 75-minute intensive. The link is in the show notes. Use promo code PRIDE2024, that's PRIDE 2024, no spaces, for a special story mapping offer just for the month of June. Hopeful Spaces is a Dallas Hope Charities component of Hopeful Discussions, sponsored by Mercedes-Benz Financial Services USA. It's a free monthly parent, ally, or caregiver support group facilitated by Megan Skidmore Coaching. Email chc@dallashopecharities.org for more info. Beyond the Shadow of Doubt podcast is a proud member of the Dialogue Podcast Network, which is part of the Dialogue Journal found at dialoguejournal.com. Founder Eugene England was a Mormon writer, teacher, and scholar who wrote, "My faith encourages my curiosity and awe. It thrusts me out into relationship with all creation and encourages me to enter into dialogue. My hope is that this podcast is an extension of that vision." Visit meganskidmorecoaching.com to find this podcast and additional free resources, including the link for a complimentary coaching session. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram for more, or to send me a DM. Help the podcast grow. Please follow, review, and share with a friend.